In this tutorial, we'll learn how to create a workspace and compute cluster, install a library for the cluster, and attach the cluster to a notebook in Oracle AI Data Platform Workbench, or AIDP Workbench. The AIDP Workbench is a secure, unified platform for integrating data from multiple sources and applying AI and analytics at scale. In this scenario, I'm setting up a workspace for my team in the AIDP Workbench to organize and prepare our data. From the home page, I'll navigate to Workspace. I'll click Create to begin creating my workspace. Workspaces are containers that enable teams to efficiently organize notebooks, files, folders, workflows, and compute clusters in the AIDP Workbench in a way that makes sense to my business. I'll name my workspace Data Science Workspace and assign it to the default data catalog. I'll click Create and the workspace is ready to use. Now that my workspace status is active, I'll select it to open it. The AIDP Workbench automatically creates a shared folder in the workspace for me. I want to begin setting up my workspace folders, so I'll click the plus sign and select Folder. I'll name my first folder Data Science Folder and click Create. I can make changes to the workspace name and access level here if needed. For example, I can give users with the Data Analyst role access to my workspace. Right now, admin users and I are the only ones with access to the shared folder. I can add the read permission to a user or role for this folder, if necessary. I can also assign permissions to folders within the workspace. Next, I'll create a compute cluster for the new workspace. Under the workspace on the left, I'll select Compute and click Create. Compute clusters are computing resources available in the workspace that I can use to run notebooks, Python files, SQL files, and process workloads. I'll name the all-purpose cluster Data Science Cluster and accept the default runtime version. I continue by selecting the cluster driver and worker nodes for this cluster. These settings help me define the cluster shape. In this case, I'll choose the fastest option for both. I can set additional settings for the cluster, including the number of workers to optimize workloads, run duration, and Spark configuration options. I'll finish creating the cluster and select Create. Once the cluster is ready to use, I'll open and verify the general details, connection information, and any linked notebooks. Most fields are blank, as this is a new compute cluster. Next, I'll review the cluster library details. This is where I can install libraries linked to the notebooks I use to capture my work for this cluster. Before I can install libraries at the cluster level, I need to create a requirements.txt file that lists the Python libraries I want to make available to all notebooks using this cluster. I'll navigate back to my main workspace page, then I'll begin adding a text file. I'll paste copied text into the text editor. These are the Python libraries I want loaded into this cluster. I'll rename the file to something to help me identify later and save my changes. I'll continue by adding the requirements.txt file to my cluster library. I'll navigate to my compute cluster and open the library tab. Now, I'll install the requirements.txt file to the cluster. I can use the file I just created and saved in the workspace, or I could upload a file from my computer or select one from a mounted volume. Any of these options will make the specified libraries available to all notebooks attached to this cluster. In this scenario, I'll use the file I just created and save my changes. Soon, the libraries I specified in the file will be installed and ready to use. Now that the cluster libraries are installed, I can create notebooks that automatically have access to these libraries when attached to this cluster. I'll navigate to the workspace folder I created. Then I'll begin adding a notebook. Notebooks provide teams with an interactive development environment for writing and executing code, enabling them to transform, analyze, and visualize data directly in the AIDP Workbench. I'll rename the notebook Data Visualization add a cell, and review the notebook interface language options. The default language is Python, but I can change it if necessary. I can also combine Python and SQL in different cells within my notebook. Before I can proceed with coding notebook cells, I need to attach my cluster. Without attaching a cluster, I cannot execute the code developed within the notebook. In a few moments, the cluster attachment is complete. I want to create a basic visualization, so I'll paste a copied code into the first notebook cell and run the command. The visualization displays just as I expected. I can use additional formatting options to undo and redo edits, add and move cells, and hide content in the notebook to make collaboration with my team easier if I need to. I have now created a workspace, organized folders, set permissions, configured a compute cluster, and attached it to a notebook. By completing these steps, I can collaborate with my team to analyze data, build models, and deliver data-driven solutions. Find more videos in this series and additional resources on using Oracle AI Data Platform Workbench in the links below.